Fall Sports Preview.
We just want to continue to take steps moving forward, even though they're small steps.
Volleyball.
We're still kind of in those rebuilding stages, but I think we're definitely moving forward in a positive direction.
New Prague.
Preseason interview, New Prague head girls volleyball coach Angie Andersen joining us right now. First off, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk about, first off, a tough year last year for the team, 8-18. Not a great season, still kind of working on things. This is your third year as a head coach now at New Prague. What are some things that are starting to kind of get incorporated as a head coach now, third year in? Are you feeling more comfortable with the players? Are you getting your system going? How are things starting to work for you as a third year as a head coach?
I'm looking forward to this year's volleyball season. As you mentioned, last year was a hard season in terms of our wins and our losses. But we're going to continue to have a tough schedule. That's sort of a goal of mine, is to make sure that our schedule, we're competing against some of the best players in the section, in the conference, and in the state. And we just want to continue to take steps moving forward, even though they're small steps. And I think that's something that we can accomplish this season. We look forward to moving ahead in the Minnesota Conference, and I think that's a great possibility. We finished, I believe it was 5th last season. I'd like to take a couple steps up in the conference. And as well in our section, I'd like to be a little bit more competitive. We were a young team last year, and we're still kind of in those rebuilding stages as coming into a program and changing up a few things. But I think we're definitely moving forward in a positive direction.
And that's one of the big things for a head coach, is you got to make sure that that program and the feeder system is there to kind of keep things going from year to year. How has that been as a head coach, making sure everything's going there? Because it was in decent shape, but you had to kind of sit back and re-improve on some things, right?
Yes, we've definitely, the coaching staff, along with some other coaches in the community, we've definitely implemented some new summer programs, some new off-season things to get the girls getting their hands on the ball a little bit more and getting some more repetitions and being able to be a little bit more prepared when the season comes around. There are a couple players especially that put their heart and soul into volleyball in the off-season, and that I expect to pay off this coming season.
So that'll be a big thing. And you mentioned the Minnesota Conference. Always when people talk about the Minnesota Conference, Shakopee is always going to be, they've really established themselves at the top. And then you've had Chanhassen and Chaska that came into the conference last year. Talk a little bit about the last year being the first year of the kind of the new Minnesota Conference. You lose Hutch and Prior Lake, but you gain Chaska and Chanhassen. How does that improve and make things maybe just a little bit harder in the conference for you guys?
That's okay. Chanhassen and especially Chaska, they have great programs. I think it's great that we're getting in two very competitive teams in the Minnesota Conference. It just keeps our level of play that much higher every night that we have a match during the season. And I look forward to playing them. They're nice coaches, and they have just some great programs. So again, I'm looking forward to competing against them this season.
And then in the section, when we talk about that, some new teams, some teams that are back in, like Hutchinson, and a new team, say, like Delano, and of course last year's champ in the section was Waconia, but still a decent amount of teams that you've seen before, i.e. Prior Lake, some of the Mankato teams you usually try and match up against. Talk about the section. It's a lot of different conferences kind of come together for this one section, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We play a lot of the teams during our regular season, and we run into most of them at tournaments, so that's a positive. We get a chance to play most of these teams during our regular season play. I expect that Waconia, Shakopee, Hutchinson, or Delano even are going to be on the top of our section again not again, but they typically are competing at the top of their section, so I think it just makes our section even stronger. And again, higher competition is always good during the regular season.
And you mentioned the tough regular season schedule. Talk about some of those teams that you're going to be facing, and also some of the tournaments you're going to be in this year.
This year for our tournaments, we always go to the Lakeville North Tournament. That's a great tournament. We will be going to the Farmington Tournament, which we always enjoy. And then we put a new one on our schedule this year later in the season, just to get us geared up a little bit more for section play. It's in Rochester. It's a 2-day tournament, and play some of the Big 9 schools, and just switch it up and see if that helps us get ready for sections a little bit better.
And of course, as you mentioned before, the conference kind of gets you ready too for that sections, especially towards the end of the season.
Yeah, actually 4 teams that we play in the Minnesota Conference are also in our section. So as I said before, we are going to continue to have a tough schedule, and I think that just brings out the best in our conference, the best in our section, and the best in New Prague volleyball.
Coach, thanks a lot for your time and good luck this season.
Thanks so much.
Fall Sports Preview. Volleyball. New Prague.